You know that weird moment when you promise yourself you're going to change, and then a week later, you're doing the exact same thing again? Same late nights, same scrolling, same I'll start Monday loop. And the scary part is, it's not because you're lazy, it's because you've been trying to change the wrong thing. This is Atomic Habits by James Clear, and the big promise of this book is simple but powerful. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. By the end, you'll know how habits actually work, how to build the good ones without relying on motivation, how to break the bad ones without feeling like you're at war with yourself, and why identity is the hidden lever almost nobody uses. We're going to cover every major chapter and idea, so by the end, you can honestly say you've absorbed the core of this book. Sam is the kind of guy who looks like he has it together. Late 20s, decent job, smart, curious, and quietly frustrated. He's the person who reads about productivity, buys the water bottle, downloads the Habit app, and still ends up doing the same things. He doesn't feel hopeless. He feels stuck. And if you've ever felt stuck, Atomic Habits is basically a map out of that trap. Let's start with the first thing James Clear drills into your head. Tiny habits aren't tiny, they're atomic. Small enough to ignore, powerful enough to change everything. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year. So they swing for dramatic change, new workout plan, new diet, new schedule, new life. And when it collapses, they blame themselves. But Clear flips it. He says success is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformations. He uses the idea of improving by 1% and letting it compound. Not because 1% is magical, but because it's sustainable. It doesn't require a heroic mood. It doesn't require a new personality. It requires a system. Think of it like a plane leaving Los Angeles for New York. If the nose turns just a few degrees, you don't notice it at takeoff. The passengers still buckle in, the snacks still come out. Everything feels normal. Until hours later, you land in a completely different city. Habits are like that. The difference shows up later. But it starts now. Sam learned this the hard way at work. He had a goal to be healthier, which sounded nice, but it was a foggy goal. One Monday, he decided to go all in. He woke up early, cooked a perfect breakfast, went for a run, and told himself, "This is the new me." By Wednesday, he was exhausted. By Friday, he was ordering takeout and telling himself he'd try again next week. What changed wasn't his character. What changed was his strategy. He was trying to leap across a river in one jump, instead of building a bridge with small planks. And the bridge doesn't care about motivation. It cares about repetition. Clear also talks about something that feels brutally honest. You can have good intentions and still get bad results if your system is broken. You can want to be fit and still end up unhealthy. You can want to write and still never write. You can want to save money and still spend it. Because goals don't control your daily actions, systems do. Here's the crazy part. Goals can even be a distraction. Just goals are the direction, systems are the vehicle, and if the vehicle is broken, it doesn't matter how badly you want to arrive. So what's a habit, really? Clear breaks it down into a simple loop your brain runs all day. Cue, craving, response, reward. The cue is the trigger, the craving is the desire, the response is the action. The reward is what teaches your brain. Remember this next time. That's why habits feel automatic. Your brain is always scanning for cues, predicting rewards, and saving energy. Habits are basically your brain's way of being efficient. Imagine your brain like a phone trying to preserve battery. If it can automate something, it will. That's great when the habit is brushing your teeth. It's not great when the habit is doom scrolling when you feel anxious. Sam noticed this loop in the most annoying way possible. Every day around mid-afternoon, he'd feel a little dip. Not even a huge crash. Just a slight heaviness. And without thinking, he'd open his phone. Not because he decided to, because his brain had learned a script. Dip in energy equals check phone equals mini hit of novelty. Cue, craving, response, reward, bing. Once he saw it, he couldn't unsee it. And that's the point. If you can spot the loop, you can redesign the loop. But Clear goes deeper. He says the biggest mistake people make isn't that they set the wrong goals. It's that they try to change outcomes without changing identity. Most people set outcome-based habits. I want to lose weight. I want to read more. I want to stop smoking. Those are outcomes. Some people go one level deeper and set process-based habits. I want to exercise 3 times a week. I want to read before bed. I want to meal prep on Sunday. Better, but still incomplete. Clear says the deepest level is identity-based. Who do you want to become? Because every action you take is a vote for the type of person you believe you are. One workout is a vote for, I'm someone who trains. One page read is a vote for, I'm a reader. One meal cooked is a vote for, I'm someone who takes care of myself. And here's why this matters so much. When your identity and your habits match, habits feel natural. When they clash, habits feel like a fight. It's like wearing shoes that don't fit. You can force it for a while, but every step hurts. Identity makes the shoes fit. Sam tried an identity shift that felt almost too simple. Instead of saying, I'm trying to work out, he started saying, I'm the kind of person who doesn't miss movement. Not athlete, not gym guy, just someone who doesn't miss movement. It was small enough to believe. And because he believed it, he acted like it. And that's the secret. You don't need a giant identity makeover. You need small evidence, proof. Tiny wins that make the new identity feel real. Now you might be thinking, okay, but how do I actually build the habit when my life is chaotic? This next part is what really changed how I think about habits. The 4 laws of behavior change. Clear takes that habit loop and turns it into a practical system you can use for almost any habit. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. And if you want to break a bad habit, you invert the laws. Make it invisible, make it unattractive, make it difficult, make it unsatisfying. Let's walk through them because this is where the book stops being inspiring and starts being useful. First law, make it obvious. The core idea is simple. You can't do a habit you don't remember to do. A lot of habit failure is forgetting, not weakness. Clear talks about awareness. You need to see your current habits before you can change them. He suggests something like a habit scorecard where you list the things you do and label them. Good, bad, neutral. Not to shame yourself, but to notice. Because the cue is everything. Sam did a mini version of this one morning. He wrote down his first hour after waking up. Wake up, check phone, bathroom, coffee, sit on couch, scroll. He didn't judge it, he just saw it. And the moment he saw it, he finally understood why mornings felt like they vanished. Then Clear introduces 2 powerful tools: implementation intentions and habit stacking. Implementation intention is basically deciding the when and where in advance. Not, I'll meditate more. But, I'll meditate at 7:30 a.m. in the living room chair. Your brain loves specifics. Vague plans melt. Habit stacking is even better. You attach a new habit to an existing habit. After I pour my coffee, I will write 1 sentence. After I brush my teeth, I will do 2 minutes of stretching. After I sit down at my desk, I will open the document. It's like plugging a new cable into a device that already has power. The existing habit supplies the cue. The new habit gets a free ride. Sam tested habit stacking in the smallest way possible. He wanted to read more, but he always forgot. So he chose an anchor habit he never missed: charging his phone at night. He put a book on top of the charger. After I plug in my phone, I will read 1 page. That's it. 1 page. And the crazy part? 1 page was enough to start. Because the goal wasn't to finish a chapter. The goal was to become the kind of person who reads before bed. Now let's talk about environment. And because Clear makes a point that punches a hole through the whole just be disciplined mindset. He says environment often matters more than motivation. Your environment is the invisible hand he's guiding your behavior. You might think you're making choices, but you're often just responding to what's around you. If cookies are on the counter, you'll eat cookies. If the guitar is in the closet, you won't play guitar. If your phone is on the table, you'll touch it. It's not about being weak, it's about being human. Think of your environment like the current in a river. You can swim against it for a while, but eventually the current wins. Smart people don't fight the river, they redesign the river. Sam did one environment change that embarrassed him because it was so basic. He moved his phone charger out of his bedroom. That's it, he put it in the kitchen. The first night, he kept walking back and checking the phone like he was missing something. By the third night, it was quieter. By the seventh night, he was sleeping faster. Not because he suddenly became disciplined, but because the cue wasn't in his face anymore. Clear also talks about the idea of one space, one use. Antus, when a space is associated with too many behaviors, cues get messy. Your bed becomes a place for sleep and work and scrolling and stress. Your couch becomes a place for eating and watching and avoiding. So, your brain gets confused cues. Sam turned a tiny corner of his apartment into a writing zone. Just a small desk, a lamp, and nothing else. No snacks, no TV, no random clutter. When he sat there, his brain started to learn, this is where we write. It wasn't magic, it was association. Now here's where it gets interesting. The first law is about cues. The second law is about desire. Make it attractive. Your brain doesn't repeat habits because they're logical. It repeats them because they feel good or it anticipates feeling good. Clear talks about dopamine. Not as a scary buzzword, but as a simple truth. We chase the feeling we expect. So if you want a good habit, you need to make it feel appealing. If you want to kill a bad habit, you need to make it feel less appealing. One tool he gives is temptation bundling. Pair a habit you want to do with a habit you like doing. Only watch your favorite show while you're on the treadmill. Only listen to a certain podcast while you clean. Only drink that fancy coffee after you write. It's like hiding vegetables in a delicious sauce. You're not lying to yourself. You're using your brain's wiring. Sam used temptation bundling for the gym. He hated starting. He loved music. So he created a rule. He only listened to his favorite playlist when he was walking into the gym. Not at home, not in the car for errands, only gym. After a week, the playlist became a cue that made the gym feel like a reward instead of a punishment. Clear also points out how much your tribe shapes your habits, family, friends, culture. We copy what's normal around us. You imitate the clothes, you imitate the many, you imitate the powerful. So if your group normalizes junk food, you'll eat it. If your group normalizes reading, you'll read. If your group normalizes complaining, you'll complain. Sam noticed this with his coworker, Mike. Mike wasn't loud about self-improvement. He wasn't preaching. He just had tiny routines. He packed lunch. He walked on breaks. He didn't keep candy at his desk. And because it was calm and normal, Sam started copying it without even trying. That's the power of environment. And social environment counts. Clear also explains cravings in a way that makes you stop blaming yourself. Cravings aren't for the habit itself. They're for the change in state the habit gives you. You don't crave scrolling. You crave relief. You don't crave cigarettes. You crave calm. You don't crave shopping. You crave excitement. So the question becomes, what state are you really chasing? Sam had a flashback one night when he was about to order fast food. He wasn't hungry. He was drained. He was lonely. He wanted something easy that would make the evening feel better. That's the craving, not food, comfort. When he saw that, he started building alternate comfort habits. A hot shower, a short walk, a call with a friend, same craving, different response. And that leads into the third law. Make it easy. This is where a lot of people get offended, because they want habits to be about grit. But Clear says the key is reducing friction. Humans naturally follow the path of least resistance. So instead of trying to become a hero, make the habit the easiest option available. If you want to eat healthy, cut fruit ahead of time. If you want to practice guitar, keep it on a stand in the room. If you want to journal, keep the notebook open on your desk. It's like laying out your clothes the night before. You're not changing your willpower, yes, you're changing the path. Clear also talks about repetition over perfection. You don't build a habit by planning it. You build it by doing it. And the more you do it, the more automatic it becomes. Habits are formed through frequency, not heroic effort. Sam did an experiment for 14 days. He decided his only job was to show up. If he wanted to work out, he only had to enter the gym. He could leave after 5 minutes, no shame, just entry. On day 3, he walked in and left. On day 6, he stayed 10 minutes. On day 9, he stayed 30. By day 14, he wasn't fighting the start anymore. Because the start was easy. That's also why the 2-minute rule is so effective. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes. Read before bed becomes read one page. Exercise becomes put on shoes. Meditate becomes sit and breathe. People hear that and think it's silly, but it's not about the 2 minutes. It's about becoming the type of person who does the thing. It's like pushing the first domino. The first one is small. The chain reaction is the point. Clear warns about a trap too. You can create a habit and still fail because you try to optimize too early. You try to build the perfect routine, the perfect app, the perfect plan. But a habit needs to become stable before it becomes intense. Sam learned this with meal prep. The first time he tried, he planned an entire week, bought a mountain of groceries, cooked for hours, and felt proud, until the food bored him and he quit. The second time, he made one simple lunch for 3 days. Same container, same recipe. Boring, easy. And because it was easy, it stuck. Now the fourth law, make it satisfying. Your brain learns through rewards. If a habit feels rewarding, it repeats. If it feels like punishment, it dies. The problem is, many good habits have delayed rewards. Exercise feels hard now, reward later. Saving money feels painful now, reward later. Studying feels boring now, reward later. Bad habits often have instant rewards. Scrolling feels good now. Junk food tastes good now. Procrastination feels like relief now. So Clear says you need to bring some immediate satisfaction to good habits and bring some immediate cost to bad habits. One method is using a habit tracker. Not because tracking is magical, but because checking a box feels satisfying. It's visual proof. It's a small reward. Sam used a simple calendar on the wall. Every day he did his habit, he marked it. The mark became addictive. He didn't want to break the chain, not because he was obsessed, because the streak made progress visible. But Clear also warns you, never miss twice. Everyone misses once. Life happens. The danger is the spiral. One miss becomes identity. I'm not consistent. I always fail. I can't stick to anything. That story is poison. So the rule is simple. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new habit. Sam tested this rule with reading. One night he came home late and skipped it. No guilt. The next night, he read one page. Not because he was inspired, because he refused to miss twice. That one page kept the identity alive. Clear also talks about accountability. If there's a consequence, behavior changes. He describes things like habit contracts, where you create a clear agreement and a cost for breaking it, not as punishment, as commitment. Sam did a gentle version with a friend. They agreed to text each other a photo of their morning walk. If one of them didn't send it, they owed the other a small amount of money. Not huge, just enough to sting. And that sting made the habit real. It's like putting a seatbelt on. The seatbelt isn't a motivational speech. It's a system that makes the safe action automatic. Now, if that was the build side, the book also shows you how to break bad habits by inverting the laws. Make it invisible. Remove cues. Put the cookies away. Unfollow the account that triggers jealousy. Keep the phone out of reach. Make it unattractive. Reframe it. See the cost. Not in a vague way, in a personal way. What is this habit stealing from you? Make it difficult. Add friction. Delete the app. Log out. Put the junk food on the top shelf. Make the bad habit annoying. Make it unsatisfying. Add immediate consequences. Accountability. Visibility. A cost. Sam had one bad habit he hated admitting: late night scrolling in bed. He'd tell himself he was relaxing, but he'd end up sleeping late and waking up foggy. He used all 4 inversions in a simple way. Invisible meant phone charger in the kitchen. Unattractive meant writing down what scrolling did to his next morning. Difficult meant logging out of the app so he had to type his password. Unsatisfying meant telling his friend he'd send a message at night when he was going to sleep. And if he didn't, he owed him coffee the next day. It wasn't perfect, but it was a system. And systems beat willpower. Now, the book shifts into deeper territory with the idea of mastery and the plateau. Clear describes something that explains why people quit. The valley of disappointment. You do the work, but you don't see results. You go to the gym for a week, nothing changes. You save money for a month, still feel broke. You write for a month, still not famous. Most people quit in the valley because they think the system isn't working. But the results are delayed. You're building potential, like heating an ice cube. The room goes from 28 degrees to 29 to 30, and nothing happens. Still ice. 31. Still ice. 32. Still ice. Then 33. It melts. The change looks sudden, but it was earned by all the degrees before it. Sam hit this valley with meditation. He didn't feel calmer at first, he felt more annoyed. His mind was loud. He thought, this isn't for me. But he stuck to 2 minutes, then 5, then 10, and one day, in a stressful meeting, he noticed he didn't react as fast. He had a pause, a gap. That gap was the payoff. Clear also introduces the Goldilocks rule. To stay motivated, the task must be just challenging enough. Not too easy, not too hard. So right at the edge of your ability. Too easy is boring. Too hard is discouraging. The sweet spot keeps you engaged. It's like lifting weights. If the weight is feather light, you get no growth. If it crushes you, you quit. But if it's challenging and doable, you come back. Sam used this in learning a new skill at work. He wanted to get better at presentations. He didn't jump into a huge keynote. He started by speaking up once in small meetings. Then he presented a short update. Then he volunteered for a bigger slide deck. Each step was slightly uncomfortable, but not terrifying. That's Goldilocks. And then Clear hits you with an advanced warning. Habits can become a trap if you stop paying attention. That's why Chapter 20 exists. The downside of creating good habits is that you can do them mindlessly. You can become complacent. You can keep showing up but stop improving. So he suggests reflection and review. Check in. Are your habits still serving you? Are you still growing? Or are you repeating because it's comfortable? Sam experienced this with the gym. After a few months, he was consistent and stuck. Same workout, same weights, same results. He wasn't failing, he just wasn't progressing. So he added review. Once a month, he wrote down what improved and what didn't. He changed one thing, a new exercise, a little more weight, a new goal inside the system. The habit stayed, the progress returned. It's like driving with cruise control. Cruise control keeps you moving, but it doesn't steer. Reflection is steering. And this is where Atomic Habits becomes bigger than habits. It becomes a philosophy of how to build a life. Your habits shape your identity. Your identity shapes your habits. And that loop can lift you or trap you. If you constantly tell yourself, I'm not a morning person, you'll act like it. If you say, I'm bad with money, you'll act like it. If you say, I can't focus, you'll act like it. Not because you're cursed, I know, because identity becomes a script. Clear's way out is to keep identity flexible. Don't build an identity that becomes a prison. Build an identity that supports growth. Sam used to say, I'm just not consistent. That phrase was a cage, so he replaced it with something softer and truer. I'm learning to be consistent. And then he gave himself evidence with tiny habits. The evidence changed the story changed the behavior changed the results. Now let's make this practical because ideas are useless without action. And here are a few things you can start doing right now, based on everything we just covered. First, choose one habit you want and rewrite it as an identity. Not, I want to run, but I'm someone who keeps promises to myself. Then pick the smallest action that proves it. 1 walk, 1 page, 1 minute. Keep it easy. Second, make the habit obvious by deciding the when and where. Say it out loud if you have to. After I pour my morning coffee, I will do 2 minutes of stretching. After I sit at my desk, I will open the document and write 1 sentence. Specific beats hopeful. Third, redesign your environment so the good habit is the easiest option. Put the book on your pillow, put the fruit at eye level, put the shoes by the door, and make the bad habit annoying. Add friction, move the charger, log out, remove cues. Fourth, make it satisfying, track it in a simple way. A calendar mark, a check, a streak, and remember the rule, never miss twice. If you slip, recover fast. That recovery is the real skill. And finally, do a quick review once a week. Not to judge yourself, just to steer. Ask what worked, what didn't. What's the smallest adjustment that makes the next week easier? Because that's the point. You're not trying to be perfect. You're trying to build a system that keeps you moving, even when you're not in the mood. That's it for this video. I hope it was useful and gave you something real to think about. Thanks for watching and have a great day.